I got addicted to watching these little snippets of these hot girls on Twitch, like saying, when they have the text to speech donations, and these guys are just saying really dirty ass jokes to them, and then being like not getting it for a second, like, and just looking at the camera like that. There's this one guy who ended up saying in the text to speech thing, it was like, if uh, if I if I flip a oh sorry if I flip a coin, what are the odds of me getting head? And she hears that and she's like 50-50. And she looks at the camera like, no, not 50-50, not 50-50, not 50-50. Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky. Here I go. This hand of mine is burning red.
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny.
Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting, burning.
Now all of you.
Die.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky.
And I am Johnny. Hello.
And as you can tell, Michael is not with us. He is possibly a missing person at this point. You should definitely report him to your local
He's on the
authorities.
loose.
And yeah, he is armed and dangerous, so be ready for that. Anyway,
Got
guys.
2 arms, so watch out.
Anyway, guys, since Michael's out on a killing spree right now, we're gonna be talking about our. Welcome to the Casual Discussions. If you've never heard this before, typically we have a Michael here. He is on a killing spree right now, but we usually talk about just a random topic, talk about it as long as we want, and then just casually go into it. Today's topic is animes of the season. Pick our top 2, top 3, whatever it may be. Try and figure out like what narrow it down a little bit. I definitely have one that I'm going to be doing a video on eventually. That I haven't for a clear contender for me. But then again, I'm very sporadic. Like I'm very like spontaneous. So whenever I am into an anime or something like that, or like I'm like that with art. Like I can go to like an art gallery, or sorry, I forgot my glasses were on. Whenever I go to like an art gallery or something like that, I can literally like look at a piece of art and be like, it's talking to my soul. It's so ridiculous. So this will be kind of interesting. I'll go ahead and start with one of mine. I don't know if this is on your list, Johnny, but if you want to like chime in, if this is one of mine, this isn't my top pick for it. Is Banished from the Heroes Party. I'm not gonna say the rest of it, but it's something about living quietly on a on a damn countryside. I was very surprised at how into this one I got, just because it really does focus on that countryside a lot, but at the same time, when we're talking about original stories, original character, not so much the original characters, but playing on a lot of the tropes that we know of. If you guys haven't seen it, it's just basically about exactly what it's about. It's a guy who is the hero's brother, who is the kind of the brains of the operation, gets banished from the heroes party by a guy named Ares, who is like the sage, or the mage of the group. He ends up getting jealous of Gideon, who is the main character that we were talking about, and he ends up saying like, "Listen, you're so weak. We don't need you. Get the hell out of here." Not in that way, but if you watch the series, you'll know what I mean. But Gideon ends up trying to start a new life as Red, and tries to start a new life in a place called Zoltan. This is just out in the middle of nowhere. And tries to start his own apothecary, and selling potions and all that kind of stuff. And it's a really nice series because you can tell, like, for once, this guy literally actually does not want any. Because there are those characters that say they don't want any action or any crazy stuff happening, but then they do all this shit that tells the contrary. Like they'll go out and like do something crazy, some crazy stuff. It's like, I thought you didn't want attention, man. Like, why are you doing all this stuff? And
Put your sword away.
Yeah, exactly. So it was interesting to see that. Also, there's a really cool dynamic between Red and this girl named Rit. I won't get too much into the details of it all, but it's really cool to watch because you also get to see how the heroes party is doing parallel to what Red is doing. Obviously, the hero has a lot of stuff to do that has to do with like demon lords and stuff. Very big world-ending events. Whereas Red, all of his stuff has to do very locally with all that kind of stuff, helping sick people. All those types of things. So yeah, it was really
Hmm.
cool to. It's really cool to watch a series kind of go into that because it feels like slice of life slash action adventures slash like all these things that I love to like romance. There's just so many parts of this anime that I think it does really really well. And then not to even mention the hero, which as you go along you start to realize like the hero is perfect, but in all the wrong ways. She's very much like a robot in a lot of ways. So it's cool to see that, and also
Yeah.
that people have these things called blessings that give them natural urges towards what they want to do. They're like give you an example. There's a young kid who has the bar brawler
Hmm.
blessing, which makes him more aggressive. Like there are negative effects to
It's a
all of your
terrible
blessing.
blessing to get.
Yeah, yeah, and so he has the urge to fight people, but he also has an affinity for using improvised weapons like little rocks and pebbles and stuff. So very very cool idea. I really do like a lot of these. Also, it kind of reminds me of like quirks. Like sometimes in My Hero Academia, sometimes there are quirks that are a little weird and stuff. But
That's fair.
yeah, a lot of times though, the quirks in My Hero Academia don't like force. They don't cause like mental changes in you all the time. So it's interesting to see people actually dealing with mental consequences of not being in line with who they are, which I think is a big
Hmm.
theme of this series as well, is figuring out who you are, who you want to be, as well as figuring out what your place is in this world, which I guess kind of goes into who you are. So yeah, Banished from the Heroes Party, really good. Check it out on Funimation. I don't, yeah, it's not on Verve from what I know of. So yeah, Johnny, what do you have?
First off, it's a cool pick. I'm enjoying that one too. Admittedly, I'm watching in English, so I'm a couple episodes behind. And
Oh, okay.
man, I have a soft theory, but I'm like, I don't want you to almost just tell me it's wrong immediately. So I'll tell you
How is
later.
the dubbed, by the
Um,
way?
I mean, you know me, I'm pretty biased. I don't mind dub. Um, I think it's decent. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I'm liking all the voices and how they match with the characters.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I mean, even like the heroes party, all of them. I mean, yeah, I've only heard them talk like once, but I mean, yeah, it just seems like they all fit, and so I like it. I'm good with it.
Nice.
So my first, I guess, spotlight. It's gonna be Faraway Paladin, and I
Ooh,
gotta
that's
be
a great
honest,
one. It's a good one.
this anime, I don't know, I never heard about it, and then suddenly it just kept appearing, and I was like, I guess I gotta watch it, and man, I don't know the amount of work that has just gone into, I feel like, setting up this anime. I'm so excited to see where it goes. I mean, it's very like cut and dry. Like, hey, I'm gonna give you power, but your life is gonna be messed up for like another 6 episodes, depending on how many seasons we get. But man, it just gives me so many questions, and I just want to see where it goes. I don't know why there's like a modern city, modern for us city there that's just in ruins, and I'm like, this is all so crazy. And I don't know. It looks great. Um, man, yeah, I love the characters in this. They're all super awesome and just really invested. So I'm definitely excited to see where it goes. That's gonna be my first one. Faraway Paladin.
Yeah, that's actually. I'm actually surprised. I didn't think about that one, to be honest with you. Well,
Mhm.
I think that I personally I really do like that one. It's just like for me from what I've seen so far, like you said, it's a lot of build up so far. But that's more like a gamble of like, oh, do we think that it will uh meet those expectations and all that stuff. It really really might just from what I've seen so far, it's definitely living up to that. But yeah, I think we've had 5 episodes so far, and
Yeah,
just crazy build up, dude. Like the amount of stuff that happened could have easily happened in well, maybe like a season, something like that.
it could have been spread out into a season if they wanted to, and so that's why I'm also curious. Like, they don't have much left unless it's going to be like a 24 episode full anime and then done. I mean, I'd be okay with that, but man, Yeah, they don't have a lot of room left.
Yeah,
I mean, they got to
so
take a break at some time.
yeah, absolutely. So that's a really good pick. My next one is Comey can't communicate. I really been digging this
Hmm.
one. As somebody with social anxiety, I get all of this like all the way. I love all of the characters so far. I haven't watched the most recent episode, which came out this week, but I've loved all of the characters so far. If you guys don't know what it is, just basically about this young girl who has social anxiety, but nobody really knows that because she seems so cool that every time somebody sees her, they kind okay. You know what it reminds me of to a certain degree is oh my gosh, I cannot remember the name of it now. It's about this guy who is like, don't you know I'm Sakamoto? I think it is. But
Oh,
y- y-
I've heard of that anime. I just don't know anything about it beyond like its name.
yeah, it's basically about a guy who is like super like cool that everything that he does just ends up being cool. Well, that's why I feel like with Comey, except she really isn't trying to be cool. Like she's very, very awkward, whereas he was actually like really cool.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see because basically this girl is worshipped at school, but nobody knows that she's actually has a lot of problems speaking to people, except for one guy named Tadano. And those two characters' relationship is just so fun to watch because one, Tadano is trying to stay out of the spotlight and is not very popular himself, but he's also trying to help Comey, who, as you can tell by the title, she can't communicate. He's trying to help her get ready or get used to communicating, and get used to, and try and get her goal is to have 99 friends or 100 friends, something like that. So watching them go about this journey, every time also the animation is really crisp. It's actually probably too crisp for what the anime is about. So
Yeah, really.
yeah, it's definitely like one of those animes where you're like, man, this anime like did Netflix like spend all the budget on this one anime and they're just like, hey, go fuck yourself, go get CGI, bitch. On the other animes, like what is this? So beautiful animation. The subject matter is really awesome. And
Hmm.
as somebody with like social anxiety, because being in the mental health community, if you guys don't know, I have another channel called Mental Health Casual. Go check that shit out. But one of the things that happens is people get very sensitive about people making jokes about mental health and all this stuff. I actually think that actually brings some levity to it because if you think about it, normal people, quote unquote normal people, get made fun of all of the time, and to be included in that comedy, obviously Dave Chappelle's under a lot of scrutiny for this as well. Right now, but
Yeah.
actually having people make fun of you is almost like a term of endearment. Obviously, if it turns into bullying, that can kind of suck. But the way that they portray social anxiety in this is actually freaking hilarious. In fact, just from what I've seen so far, it reminds me of like some of the situations that I used to have in school where I'd be so socially anxious that obviously I wasn't exactly like Comey, but I would get so nervous that I'd end up doing something that seemed cool to other people, but I was like, I can't believe I fell for that shit, dude. I totally didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And it really does make a lot of sense. But also they also showed like the severity of it in the fact that it's really crippling to this girl who really wants nothing more than to be friends with all these people, but she's treated like an outsider and can't really find her voice. So really loving Comey Can't Communicate. I wasn't surprised
Hmm.
by it because they had so much hype behind it from people that read the manga. So obviously it was just more like, will the anime adaptation live up to it? It seems like it has. I have to read some more comments because obviously like Record of Ragnarok I thought was a good anime, but people who read the manga were really pissed off about it. So who knows?
Wow,
So
really? Hmm.
yeah,
That's actually one I wanted to go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, no, no, no. I was just gonna say that was just one that immediately got like shit on by a lot of people, and I was just like, wow, this is really cool. This is really, and then everybody's like, they didn't spend enough time on the backstories. They didn't do this in the fight. I didn't. I was like, man, dude, jeez, should I even read the mangas anymore? Like, is this what it does to me?
Wow. Man, I don't know if that's like a weird like elitist thing, kind of like it's sub over dub. I don't know. It's just so strange. Actually, Komi-san can't communicate, or Komi can't communicate, is probably one of the only ones that I've wanted to actually see the manga for, just because I'm curious how all these scenes of like silence are portrayed. Is there a lot more narration? I have no idea, but I mean, uh, I just think it's funny that
That's a really good
that's
point.
probably the one I want to actually look at and read. So I don't know. I might check that out at some point. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to say on Komi-san can't communicate?
No, no, that was about it.
Cool. My next pick is Mirako-chan. And this anime has been so fun, like behind every turn. It's so great. And I seeing the constant of Mirko just trying to live her life, and then everywhere she goes, there's just some horror bothering her or her friends, and it's I just seeing her struggle with that and remarkably keep her cool is just so fun to see. Not that I like to see terrified women. I mean, it's not that at all. I swear. Uh, man, e- just even the other characters are in it. I mean, because that's what's also kind of weird. She's got this friend who is, I don't know, she's just blessed by God or something. I don't know, because like nothing can touch her. No evil spirits have been able to mess with her at all. And then she's got this other person now who's going to start following her, and she apparently can see them, but she can only see like the surface of it. And so Mirko Chan is constantly like, "Oh my God, you need to leave. You have no idea what you're messing with." And the dynamic between them all, and especially the last episode, it threw in some pretty interesting characters as far as there's not necessarily only evil spirits, and not that they're necessarily evil. I feel like they're actually just people who can't move on, which I don't know if they're going to go into that. I kind of want to see if it's going to be like, I'm hideous because I have these horrible feelings inside and I didn't get to resolve them. Oh, thank you for helping me move on. And then I don't know. Possibly it's going to be Bleach. Basically, that's Bleach season 2. That's or the new Bleach coming out. uh, man, and even to boot, there's some fan service in there, which I don't know how they do that balancing act, but bravo, they're doing a great job at it. So, Mirko Chan, awesome.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna like that one. I didn't think you were gonna put it as like a top tier one. I think it's
I've
definitely
been
worth.
enjoying it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. I only made it up to episode 4. I still need to catch up on like the last 2 episodes, but episode
Mm.
4 so far has been one of the best episodes of all season. Sorry, of all the anime this season. Actually, and by the way, this isn't just me saying that. It was voted as the top anime episode of the week that it came out. So there were some
Wow.
big anime episodes that came out. If you guys haven't checked out, I usually do a podcast on Saturdays where I talk about the top 10 anime of the week according to Anime Corner or another one. I might stop that a little bit more just because it's so hard to keep up with all the new anime that just sneak into that top 10. So,
Mm.
but anyway, that was definitely a good episode to check out. But yeah, Miracle-chan, you can check it out on Funimation. As for like, this is just like my like actual pick, like my number one pick for the fall 2021 season. The immediately after I watched the first episode, I was like, this is my anime. I actually had the same feeling when I was watching those Snow White notes. Now, granted, I didn't do it like publicly, but I did kind of regret saying that because obviously there were other anime that were coming out like around the same time that I didn't give enough time to like get their groove on. So those Snow White Notes was still really good, but there were other anime that were going on. But yeah, this one I'm definitely getting a really good feeling about. It's called Ranking of Kings. It is on Funimation, and I
Lucky.
was
That was my third one. I don't know
really,
what it is with this show, but it's driving me crazy.
dude. How much have you seen?
I I keep waiting for a new episode, and I don't think it's come out yet.
Oh, so yeah, you're caught up then.
Yeah, I saw the part where his sword master like
Okay, yeah,
totally betrayed him.
yeah. I saw that one. Yeah, this anime has been amazing. So when I first heard about this, so this is a seinen anime. If you guys don't know what seinen means, it means it's an anime. So shonen is anime that is so there's shonen jump, but then there's actual shonen anime, which is
Hmm.
typically geared towards young boys. So that would be like Naruto, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, all that kind of stuff. Now there's seinen, which is geared towards young males, so 18 to adult men, which would be Berserk, this anime. And even though it doesn't seem like it, it is geared towards young men to adults. And when you start to get into the nitty gritty of the anime, you start to see a little bit of why it's geared towards that. Just because it's a lot about this big journey happening. Politics is involved. There's so many adult themes that go on in the background as well. But what do you think about Baji as the main character? Because I never thought that I would like a character that was deaf and couldn't speak as much as I do with this character.
Yeah, I also didn't expect much from it. I don't know. I mean, even the first episode, I was still very skeptical, just because even the animation I was trying to pick at, even I was like, this animation, it's so just like old school. But funny enough, now I really enjoy watching that. I really enjoy the I don't know, kind of nostalgia of watching that animation. And man, I feel like it's almost just kind of like the same premise of like Wally from Wally, and where they got so much emotion out of a character that I don't know, essentially doesn't speak, and he's just so cool, and I'm really rooting for him, and I really, especially after he got in that fight with his I don't know, half brother, and totally like destroyed him. Well, okay, he should have, but whatever. That's beside the point. Man, I don't know. I enjoy Boji, and I love seeing his little shadow friend. And I have questions and I want them answered, and it's all just super cool to watch.
Yeah, and there's a lot of backstory in both of these characters that is by the second episode you're rooting for like both of them. It doesn't seem like that in the
Mm.
first episode when you first meet Kage is the name of the I don't know why his
Oh,
parents
right.
named him Kage since it means shadow in Japanese. So I don't know. Like it's like it's part of the Shadow Clan. If you guys have never seen the anime, basically it's this. The best way to describe it is this puddle with two eyes and like little hands, and he can also make a mouth. So that's the only way that Baji can understand him is if he reads his lips. Which I don't even know how that happens. Can you read? Can you like if I
No,
do
I
this?
didn't understand how that
Yeah,
worked
if
either.
I do this, Johnny, can you understand like what I'm trying to say? Like I don't think that works that way, but
Oh, yes,
yeah.
actually, I
Oh,
totally did.
oh my gosh, he is the chosen one. You're the king. But if you guys don't know what it's about, the reason why it gets its name is because there is literally a ranking of kings. You're ranked
Hmm.
based off of your strength is one thing, your standing, the way you like your people. But there's just so many aspects that give a king its ranking. The king that is in power, I won't go too much into the story, but the Boshi's father is ranked number seventh. He's this gigantic dude named Boss, and he definitely is a
Hmm.
boss. Also, I'm wondering how he slid that dick into his wife, dude. His wife is tiny, bro. His wife
There's
is
like One Piece
tiny.
status going on with the size of these people. Like I have no idea. Like why is Boji so small? Oh God, I don't even know.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but yeah, it's it's definitely really cool to just see their relationships. You know what this reminds me of, Johnny? Is it reminds me? So you know how like Avatar was a Western cartoon that was trying to mimic
Hmm.
anime. This is how I feel about like the opposite though with this. It feels like an anime or a East style show trying to mimic because it gives me hints of
Ah.
like really it gives me hints of like some other like because you don't get nobody has like huge eyes. Nobody has like the typical anime look. Like it all looks like it could be like an episode of Adventure Time if they like did the animation a lot better, or
Yeah.
like one of those. So it's really cool to watch. Like it's really kind of refreshing because obviously when you watch so much anime like we do, I mean you start to see the same damn character model almost every single
Yeah.
time. Like if we even like not to call it out, but like Miyako-chan, right? Like we know kind of how they look, like big eyes, short skirt. I mean that long
Yeah.
sweater that goes up to like right here. I mean we've seen that kind of anime character, but as for like Boshi, we've he got the V-shaped smile, the V-shaped
Oh
smile
my
and all this
God.
stuff.
Yeah, that's such a weird mouth.
Yeah, but it's weird how it works and it doesn't
It
like
does. It definitely does.
it doesn't make any sense, dude. But I really do think that this is my anime of the season, and everything that's happened so far is exactly like you said. I'm rooting for Boji all the way, and when you get an anime that makes you root for a character that you can't even hear speak, is oh my god! And also the first two episodes in this sealed the deal, dude. Immediately, I was like, I just kept watching, and I was like, oh, I'm already caught up, dude. And I had to do a podcast, and I was like, oh shit, I have to do a podcast. Jeez, Louise. But yeah, that's my anime of the season. Did you have any more on your list, Johnny, that you wanted to talk about?
I'm actually trying to find a third one that I might have missed. I mean, there's plenty of stuff I'm watching. Just I don't know if there's any that are super worthy of talking about.
Yeah,
I'm just
there's
kind
a
of
lot of
scrolling
there's a
right
lot of
now.
really great anime, by the way. Like I mentioned Arena, the cosmonaut, the vampire cosmonaut. Very interesting story. But we're talking about like the top of the top. Like literally, it keeps our attention. It's a mixture of genres. And I think the anime that we've chosen so far all kind of fit that bill in the sense that even if you aren't a fan of one particular genre, you can pretty much find like even if you're not a fan of horror, Miyako-chan's freaking hilarious. So even if you don't like that body horror, uh, guess what? It's hilarious to boot. On you're in a fan service. Here you go. Same thing with even like Banished from the Heroes Party, right? If you don't like slice of life, well, all of a sudden they'll bring you some crazy fight against a big old demon person and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of
Definitely a
fits.
wide array and different anime out there this season.
Oh
Actually,
yeah.
like I remember, like a couple years ago, it was like the season of Isekai, and that's all that came out. And now we've got all these crazy ones, even on Netflix. Though, I mean, I haven't watched it. I was thinking about watching it. I just haven't watched it yet. But Blue Period, I've heard that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is really
Uh,
good. I would just say that it's very specific. So if you
mm,
guys aren't into how do I describe it? It's very slice of life. Obviously with an emphasis on art. So if you're not
yeah,
into art and you're not into the process and you're not into um character development, all that stuff, it's not going to be a great time for you. But I've really enjoyed it so far. As I kind of alluded to before, I'm the person who can literally just look at art and be like, "Wow, this speaks to my soul," or some bullshit like that. And I'm looking at like a
yeah,
pair of
I'll skip it.
glasses. Yeah.
No, I'm
So there.
kidding. I want to give it a shot.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's on episode 5 right now or something like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, and it comes out weekly. It's a pretty solid one. I just like I said, it's very specific, and even then, sometimes I get a little um bored at sometimes, but yeah, overall it's a pretty solid anime. Just in terms of like just some of the dialogue, I'm like I could use some art right now. Could use a little bit
Yeah,
of art.
gotcha.
Did you find any other anime that you wanted to talk about?
Uh, Not so much. I mean, I did find one that's been, I don't know, it's been a cheerful ride, but I don't think it's anything worth necessarily mentioning. It's I ate a fruit of evolution, and before I knew it, my life was made. If anything, it's just been kind of funny. um, Basically, this school gets isekai'd into this. I don't know if it's a video game or just a new world, but they're basically told like, yeah, you're gonna be isekai'd into a game, and good luck. And that's why there's all this leveling up and stuff. And literally for this character, everything is going right. Uh, he, finds a bodyguard who then becomes his lady. And then he gets to another lady who the first lady is like, hey, you should hit that. And so everything is going right for this guy. So if anything, there have been some funny parts that I've enjoyed, but yeah, I don't know. That's another one that kind of slipped under my radar, and I've been slowly getting back into it. So yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been watching a couple other animes, but yeah, I mean, obviously, Demon Slayer can always come in at some point. It's just, we're watching a lot of. I haven't watched too much of it yet, but I've heard it's a lot of rehashing, but also addition to the movie.
yeah.
Definitely want to check it out, but I just, I really haven't yet. And then there's obviously 86 Part 2. Haven't watched the first one. Although that has been
Man,
apparently, according to Anime Corner and like all these people that are voting, that's been like pretty much like top 5 for a couple of weeks so far. So yeah. Also,
that's definitely one I wanted to go back to, just didn't get to.
yeah, I definitely. I mean, especially since I like Gundam, I thought I probably would like this, but whatever.
Mm,
Also, there was the Great Jahi. Can't remember the rest of the name. The Great Jahi won't be discouraged or something like that. It's on Verve. It's a lot like Devil's a Part Timer in the sense that it's a person from another world who ends up. In this case, she ends up losing her powers because a hero ends up taking or destroying the crystal that gives the underworld its powers. She ends up trying to
yeah.
live and work part time in our world, and hilarity kind of ensues from there. But it's not as funny as the Devil's a Part Timer. It seems like it could be though. I've only watched the first couple episodes, so could be really great. I have no idea. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
so
cool.
yeah, it's definitely
Oops.
this is a really good anime season. I'm really enjoying it so far. But like I said, I think that Ranking of Kings is something special. I think this is a good dude. I feel I don't. I did I tell you, Johnny? I literally jinxed a fighter the other day when I was watching UFC.
Oh, with your quirk?
Yeah, dude. But if you guys don't know, my name is Lucky, but I'm also a jinx for some reason. And there was a guy fighting in the UFC, and as he was fighting, I thought that he was gonna I thought that he was gonna lose at first, and then all of a sudden, sorry, I thought he was gonna win at first, and then all of a sudden, it was talking about the odds play by play, like they were showing the odds of the person, like, oh, you'd make this much money if you bet on this person. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I was like, man, is it too late to, because I was joking, I was like, man, is it too late to change my bet? Because I feel like this guy's gonna win. Right when I said win, the guy knocks him out, and I was like, and my friend looks at me, he's like, dude, he did that right as you were saying that. How the hell did that happen? I was like, no, he's figured me out. My only friend in Texas has figured me out. I'm a jinx. Oh God, he knows I'm a jinx. Oh God.
Don't let him
Oh.
use your quirk for evil, Lucky.
Oh my
Don't let him.
gosh. Yeah, dude, I've been jinxing a lot, bro. I really gotta get this quirk under control. But anyway, guys, remember you can check out all things casual at the link tree in the description box down below. Also, if you'd like to email us, you can email us at animecasuals with an S, real, REAL, at gmail.com. But as always, guys, don't forget to keep it
Casual.